Ladies and gentlemen, Christoph the Polish Geek, and yes, I finally seen Barbie and Oppenheimer, and I have reviews of both movies for you, starting from Barbie, and yeah, like I'm a totally target audience for this movie. Sarcasm aside, my niece loves Barbies. She's like almost 5 years old, and she loves Barbies, and I get her Barbie dolls a lot. So partially I went to see this movie largely for her and for you guys, because I love you all. And by the way, I was like one of the only few males in the movie. Like the whole movie theater was like very full, but it was mostly like women in their 20s or 30s and few teenage girls. But like yeah, I was literally like one of the very few men in the theater. Like almost the whole thing was filled like with women and young girls, and they seemed to have a pretty good time with it too, like the way they were laughing. But what did I think of the movie? This movie. Well, let's start from the positives. Like the cinematography of this movie is really amazing. For example, I really love the way the Barbie world is portrayed here, like all the pinkish and all, and yeah, I still have all that pinkish color palette stuck in my head. That's right. And the Barbie land is like portrayed amazingly. This totally feels like, with all the pink toy houses and all, this totally feels like a Barbie world come to life. Very much so. So yes, the way the Barbie land is portrayed in this movie, really good. And Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling are actually both really good choices for the roles they were given. Like Margot Robbie totally steals it as Barbie. So yeah, I thought Margot Robbie was a perfect choice to cast as Barbie, and Ryan Gosling was a really good choice to play Ken. And even the first half of the movie is actually really funny and all. And then Barbie gets transported into the real world, and that's where at first you expect it to get really funny, and it is even funny at the very beginning, how Barbie doesn't understand how the real world works and gets really confused when she sees many men in the positions of roles that women take in the Barbie world. This is all really funny. But since Ken transports with her, oh yeah, and then she meets this mother and daughter, and that's also pretty interesting, and even there is a pretty interesting twist there too, actually. But then when Ken sees what type of positions men can have in the real world, he goes back to Barbie Land and takes over, and that's where it gets really political and really annoying, because this is of course where the feminist message starts getting shoved down your throat, and Barbie basically goes back into Barbie world and decides to defeat Ken and the patriarchy. So yes, the second half of the movie is really when it gets really political and annoying, and that was really frustrating to watch. I generally, as I said many times, try to avoid talking politics on this channel. Like, this channel is all about fun. I don't really like discussing politics, especially that politics very much gets on my nerves, both sides. But unfortunately, this is a perfect example of the movie where talking politics is simply unavoidable, because the message is just too strong, too in your face, so it's unfortunately impossible to avoid talking about it. But the way it was shoved down in front was just really annoying. Look, I'm all for equal rights. Like, I don't like sexism, but this was very much targeting men, and like there was obvious like man hate in there. Like, you can make an argument this is satire, but at the same time seeing what type of things modern Hollywood is capable of, I'm afraid this could have not been satire. It could totally be a genuine message the movie wanted to send to you. Like, for example, there was a 12-year-old girl sitting in front of me, like I get 12, 13, I don't know what her age exactly was, but I totally think that the 12-year-old girl sitting right in front of me totally cared about the political message that the movie was obviously sending. Although the two like young ladies in their 20s who were sitting right next to me, they obviously had lots of fun because they were laughing so loud like anytime, and especially in the second half. But you already know I really dislike political messaging in the movie, and in the second half of this movie, it's very, very strong, and unfortunately because of that I have to mention it, as you see, because yeah, it's obvious the second movie is a pure Barbie feminist takes down the patriarchy, like, while matriarchy, for some reason, it seems like it's an okay thing. And as I already said, if this was satire, it would actually be pretty funny, but the problem is, seeing of what modern Hollywood is capable of, it was probably not satire. But then comes the end, and that's where Barbie meets the ghost of her creator and learns that the creator actually created Barbie in the name of her daughter, Barbara. And that was actually pretty interesting and a very interesting thing to learn about. And that actually nicely brought the story full circle, but at the same time, after being like, for the last hour, force-fed political message, it's kind of feels like so bland now. Overall, Barbie movie starts really well and funny, but then unfortunately it devolves into political message, and hence why I can't recommend this movie unless you're the target audience, because as I said, the target audience that were in the theater with me, they seem to have a lots of good time, but for me, as I said, it started well and funny and then it got too political for my tastes. So overall, I can't say I was a huge fan of Barbie, but I'm going soon to review Oppenheimer, because in contrast to Barbie, Oppenheimer is something I very much recommend. So, thank you for checking out this video, press the like button, please subscribe to this channel, and I will talk to you soon in Oppenheimer review. Talk to you then, bye!